All right, so today we're going to be making buttercream. Here are my ingredients. I have my sugar, my butter, my high ratio shortening. This is Alpine brand. I have my vanilla. I switched to this vanilla because I really like the flavoring of it. And 1 cup of water. Actually, not only 1 cup of water, but also a half teaspoon of salt and my Kerrygold butter. And I use the salted kind. I use that because that way I don't have to use as much salt in it. For the sake of time, I've already sifted 6 cups, and here goes 2 more that I've already put in here. And we're going to go ahead and sift those. And what I do is I get the cup and I level it out, and you'll see that here in a minute as I do that. So I have 10 cups in here. And then I'm going to take the last 2 and I level that out. I completely level this out. 1. And I'm sorry you can't see that. Let me bring it over so you guys can see. I fill it up and I do that so that it can make sure that there's no pockets in between. And I level that out. And that is my 10 cups of sugar, of powdered sugar. So now I'm going to go ahead and sift this through. All right. All right. So now that I have sifted the sugar, I go ahead and I don't know why, this is just stuff that we do as we work. I like to aerate it some more by letting it run a little bit. Don't ask me why I do that, but I do. And then at this point, I bring in the salt. That way, you're going to have salt coming through your entire buttercream. You don't put it at the end and then you don't know if the bottom is getting it. You're putting it from the very beginning. At this point, I'll take my 1 cup of water that I heated up in the microwave for 1 minute and I just start pouring. So there, I don't like to pour the whole thing in because I always like to see what's the consistency. I don't know why. Every so often something changes. I don't know if it's the temperature, if it's the moisture in the air or what, but I like to make sure that I don't put it all in at once so I can see. So this is a pretty thick, if I leave it here, it's going to yield a pretty thick buttercream. So I'm going to put a little bit more just to thin it out a bit. All right, and I'm going to grate the bottom of it because if not, it'll mix in. All your ingredients will mix in, but this butter that's stuck to it, it'll stay there and not mix in. And then towards the end, you'll have these chunks of gooey sugar. And then you're going to go again. And then for this step, I like to put the high ratio shortening because it's hot water. So it'll bring my high ratio shortening because sometimes it can be a little bit hard depending on what temperature it is. So I like to add this next. And I like to make sure that this is whipped up and pretty broken up so that there's no bits and pieces of hard high ratio shortening. So we're going to go ahead and pick this up. And then it's the Wilton vanilla, and I put a tablespoon of this. Huh? And yeah, you want to bring that down a little bit so it doesn't splash out. But there you go. And then from here, I bring in the butter. And I just grab my spatula and break it up into pieces. And this is the equivalent of 4 sticks, but these are 8-ounce sticks. And I get them at Costco. It comes 4 in a box. 4 of these sticks of chobak. What? And that's how things get dirty real quick. And I'm going to let this go. I'm going to get the heat. And if you notice, it's concentrating in the middle, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this so that I could do a quick scrape of the bowl. And I'm going to let this go so it gets nice and fluffy. And once this is completely incorporated, I put in 3 tablespoons, which equals a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. And I do that one at a time, of course, because I want to make sure the consistency is right. And I'll be back when that's fully incorporated. All right, so now that it is fully incorporated and is pretty fluffy, let me go ahead and lower this down so I'm not wearing it. And I'm going to put in my heavy whipping cream. 1, pan 2, I'll do this sometimes to help incorporate the parts that are on the very top because I'm impatient. And I'm going to put in the last. You could use it, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in. I'm going to try to keep it at the edges so that way it doesn't splash. And like I said, I lift this up a little bit because it does pick up my top portion. And there you have it. And you turn it off. And there's the buttercream. Nice and stiff. But is not super stiff. See that? So there you have it. I hope this helped. And I absolutely love this buttercream.